The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and do not necessarily reflect the official policies or positions of City World Media, LLC, or its affiliates. All shows are produced with full participant consent. City World Media does not claim ownership of any third-party music featured and uses all tracks only with proper permissions or licenses granted by their respective rights holders. City World Media operates in accordance with fair use and digital broadcast guidelines on all platforms. From my city to your world, we are City World. Thank you for watching.
And we are back, y'all. So check it out, man. For whatever reason, we had some type of glitch with the chat, or not with the chat, but with basically the stream where it ended early. And so we are basically, there's 15 minutes of the interview that you can watch. What we were doing was getting caught up on basically MROK and CM's first memories of hip hop. I will be uploading the video for this in a edited format where we will have it all together as one. On the live section, there'll be two different ones, but we're back up and running, y'all. I do truly apologize for whatever's going on. I don't think it's on our end because I know I got a lot of storms rolling in right now, but I would have lost and not been able to see these guys. So it's not any of our connections because we're all crispy and clear. I'm blaming you, Evie Mux. Yes, you, Evie Mux. When you replay this video to look and see what happened, it's your fault. So the heat's on you. Fix it. Answer my tickets. I've had plenty of tickets put in. So you're on blast. It's like that.
I don't know.
It's like that. It's my diss track. CM did his first rap, was a diss track to a girl. And you know what? I'm not going to feel any type of remorse about this. EV Mux, that's spelled EVMUX. Tell them, email them to get their ish together. Ultra Mag, what's going on in the house?
Ultra Mag's a straight hater.
Yo,
You're a hater. You know I'm a Knicks fan. We got it, man. You can't break me now. We got the chip, so.
Hey, look,
whatever.
Congratulations to the Knicks, man. I, of course, am a Denver Nuggets fan, and but I've always been. My family's always been from here. I'm originally from Cincinnati, but so I grew up wanting to be like Mike Jordan, Mike Tyson, you know, but the Bulls, especially with Rodman and all of them, I followed them, but I always was a fan of the Nuggets. And then once, you know, The Last Dance happened, I switched back to the Nuggets. So I'm out here with it. But I'm happy for you guys because, you know, it's been a long time in the making. For the
Super
Knicks.
long. I haven't been born to see this yet. I've seen the Giants, the Yankees, the Mets. The Knicks finally did it. It can't break me now. It could be another 53 years. I don't care. We got one.
Well, yo, dope. And look, he said Nets. So is Ultra Mag a Nets fan, or is he just clowning?
He's from the New Jersey Nets fans. I don't know about the Brooklyn, but
I got you. All right. Well, you know, getting and moving on into this, MROK, your official biography credits you with starting, and this is really interesting because this show started out on 88.3 FM in Cincinnati, Ohio, as a community radio station that has a tremendous history of, you know, for the civil rights movement and all types of things. And it continues to this day to have a tremendous amount of divergent, just different types of streams and content throughout the day. And, it relies solely on public funding, and especially now that funding from the government has been pulled, they really rely on your public support and just all of those. If you have any of those types of stations in your neighborhood, support them, because there's a lot of people that have dreams and aspirations and bring great content to you and on an FM, and it's free. So, and it's commercial free. The only thing you normally have to play or talk about is a couple PSAs an hour, and that's it. And you get some really dope unedited content. We were able to play any type of songs that had cuss words, like fully unedited hip hop albums, as long as we weren't actively cussing live on the microphone. It was okay.
Wow.
Right? So like we could play anything, and like we were overnight throughout the middle of the night, and people would tune in for all over and have tinfoil on their antennas and stuff like that, because the station signal was kind of not that punchy, but there was a lot of people that listened and tuned in, and it was just such a special experience to be a part of B-Boys Underground and all, one of my other shows that I had on there. But you're officially credited, MROK, as starting Boston University's first hip hop radio show in '91. What I want you to do is, walk me through how you built the show, what records you played, who supported it, and, what resistance you faced, if any.
Yeah, man. So first of all, I got to give credits to another 88. In Boston, there was a hip hop show, it was 88.9 at night, WERS. They were connected to The Source. The Source came out of two people from Harvard. And you got to hear all sorts of underground hip hop that no one else was playing. And I was like, wow, college radio apparently is playing the kind of stuff that I want to hear. So I'm like, if I ever get the opportunity to do a radio show when I go to college, I'm all in. I gotta I gotta not compete with 88.9, but I want to almost expand it so that if you're not listening to them, you have another alternative to hear hip hop. So yeah, man, freshman year, I just kind of learned about the communications program and what was available. And I became a campus DJ. I would do events on campus. And I just asked if I could do my own radio show. And what's crazy is right now in 2026, the idea that hip hop isn't everywhere, it would just seem crazy, right? But back then, there was hardly any hip hop on campus. There was some people listening to it, but not much. So I could tell they were okay, we'll give you a shot, but they were wary, right? Unlike you, I had rules. I could not play anything with cuss words. So I would try to play as much stuff as I could that was maybe under the radar, but have no cussing in it. And if it did, I'd be really quick with the toggle switch to just kind of bleep it out or whatever. Yeah. Most of the times I hit it. Sometimes I forgot. So, but nobody was ever the wiser. I had amassed a pretty good record collection by then because I was DJing and I was just as a collector. So I was literally
were you getting anything from record pools or anything like that? Or were you just paying for everything?
I was paying for everything, man. I was going to record stores and just buying anything that I could find that looked like it was going to be dope. I bought so much just based on the cover. Schoolly D's first album, I didn't know who Schoolly D was, but I saw the graph on the front and I'm like, well, this looks good, right? So I bought a ton of records and I brought my whole collection to my dorm, and I would carry crates of records from one end of the campus to the other to get to the radio station. If it was raining, I was carrying records. If it was no one. I was carrying records. I sound really old right now. I won't throw that I walked up a
Uphill
hill
both ways.
Yeah. I didn't do that. It was level, but yo, I did all that, and I loved it. And I don't know how many people really listened. The signal, like you mentioned, it wasn't the strongest. ERS had a much stronger signal, but it felt good to be able to bring that to the campus and to whoever was listening. And yeah, I'm glad I got to do it, man.
That's dope. That's dope. That's the thing that people don't really understand and appreciate now, especially the DJs. And here's the thing, I'm not gatekeeping or anything like that. I am 100%, my back is 100% grateful for the technology of being able to have a laptop, and Serato is, and, of course, all of the other programs are dope and have saved, and even the technology with the speakers having, the amps built into them and not having to carry a big old amp rack and cables. And the technology nowadays, and the technology they continue to come out with every single year is just amazing to be a DJ. And even on the production side, man, I mean, just think about the new release of the MPC sample, right?
Sample,
yeah, dude.
Yep.
I want to get my hands on one of those so bad, because it's like, man, come on now. Because the first thing I learned how to use was, and I was trained on, was an MPC 3000, and
nice.
That's always been my favorite. And then I learned a ASR 10, and so those were my two tools that I knew how to use. But there's a lot of advancements, and nowadays you don't even need any type of machines. You can literally do everything from your computer, and you don't need effects racks or anything. You have all of that stuff available. So advancement in technology is amazing. There's no reason to hate on it. And yes, the younger generation, I think, needs to understand what it was like to be, because also you can just stream, you can pay for streaming service and DJ with streaming services and not even pay money for, you pay a monthly fee, but, to have to buy the songs individually, because, you had to literally curate and buy and determine what you were going to buy and what you were, all of that stuff, and put on hold. And it's a whole different story nowadays. But it's a great thing. And I love it. And it's making it accessible. So like, I've got my daughter a controller, my son, I have twins. They, they've got both sides of me, and it's funny how they split down the middle. My son is all about sports and statistics, and like, he's my fantasy manager. Yes, I corrupted my son at a very early age. He helps run my own fantasy teams and co-owns them with me, and then we're in a couple leagues where we compete against each other. But shout out to him. And my daughter is all into art, and basically any type of arts and crafts, and also music is one of her passions. And I'm teaching her how to DJ and doing all of that stuff. So it's
Nice.
cool that I can take her laptop, give her a controller, and teaching her the ones and blending. And it's like, go listen, and then I'll introduce her to music and say, hey, here's a playlist I made for you. Take a listen to this and tell me what you like and what you don't like, and go off from there. And her come back and we talk music, and it's cool. So music being accessible nowadays is awesome, especially with the digital. But there's like something over 60,000 songs a day being released, right? And it's difficult to keep up with that. Whereas we were lucky enough to have, Tuesdays. Tuesdays was the day, man.
Yeah.
Like, you had that Monday midnight release, or you were there. I don't know about y'all, but I would skip school and I'd be at the record store at opening, time just to get in there if they didn't give me the early copy, the day before or whatever. Like
I spent a lot of time in J&R was our music store.
Yeah.
Tower Records, J&R, those type of stores. I lived pretty close to City Hall when I lived in New York, so they had all the stores out there. And Tuesday, man, you just go there as early as you can or right after school and you just go through, see what new stuff, get a single. I used to get a bunch of singles just so I could get the instrumentals so I could rap on them. Mm-hmm. But those was fun times.
Hell yeah, man. I definitely love all of that stuff, because I don't know about you guys, but I would buy one of each. I'd buy a cassette, I'd buy a CD and a vinyl, or I would not buy the cassette and go home and drop the CD down into to a tape and chop it up that way, because you got foot stomps and all of that stuff. With the vinyl, you had to worry about. Whereas, even if you were talking loud, you could hear the stylist pick up voices in the room and everything like that. So, like, just dump the CD down, but it's pretty cool. So, like, CM, Deadly Combo became with your brother RM and AKA Big M long before your solo catalog took shape. What did growing up together add to the music, and what did brotherhood make? What was the dynamics inside the group? Did it make it harder, or did it make it make you guys even tighter and like put out quality product? Or tell me about it is like to be in a band, and all of that with your bro.
Oh man, so once we discovered that each of us were into rhyming, we was in our mid to late teens. We was recording a lot of stuff, but we never sat down and got our own original beat and wrote to those. We just rapped over whatever beats we can get. And then my brother moved to Maryland with my mom, and I stood in New York. And it took maybe a year later before I moved to Maryland. So 96, at the very end of 96 is when I moved to Maryland. And my brother had been there for probably close to a year already. And we did music, but we never recorded anything until, I want to say, we recorded stuff. Let me back up. So as Deadly Combo, when we first started rhyming together, we was Deadly Combo. And when he moved away, he met some other people out in Maryland who wrote, who was rhyming. And they were taking it way more serious than me or my brother. And it was K Skills and Dr. Beckett. And these two guys, they were the first people I met that had vinyl. They had CDs. They was going on tour overseas, and they was doing all the cool stuff. So when I got to Maryland, my brother had that connection with them, and he ended up on a track that they put out on vinyl, called Bad Motherfucker. And if you you can find it online. If you go through Dr. Beckett, Bad Motherfucker, you'll hear it, and that just amped me up more. So when we had a little crew out there, and we would do a lot of music with them. But as Deadly Combo, we didn't really put any projects together. It was always a collaboration with other people. So fast forward 2000, like I say 2007 or something, my brother got locked up. And before he went to jail, he bought an MPC. He had a rolling, like, digital 16 track or something like that. And we was trying to knock out some songs before he had to leave. And we did a couple, nothing too crazy. And then he came back home in 2010. And at that time, I was releasing classic material stuff. Um, so when he came home, I was like, let's do something together. Like, let's put some stuff out. I'm putting out music online. I didn't care who heard it. I just wanted music out there at that point, because I put together my first EP together with Dr. Beckett. He produced 6 tracks for me, and we this is early 2000s. So I wanted to get that. Like, I wanted to take his route. I wanted that thing pressed on vinyl. I wanted the CDs, the cassettes, all that. But that thing cost money, especially back then. That thing was expensive. So I wasted all my money going to the studios and getting this EP done. And then when it was time to print it up and stuff, I just didn't have it, and I didn't know anybody who I can go to try to borrow money. And being new, that's always a risk. I didn't want like hundreds of crates behind me and nobody's buying it like that. I didn't know what avenues to take to promote myself. So that EP just stood in the vault. I still have the DAT tapes of those sessions. And so some time was spent. Like, I had some people who were interested, but I always felt like they was giving me the runaround. Like, they wanted me to wait. So I'll wait. I'll keep rhyming. I'll keep writing, keep coming up with new stuff. But nothing ever materialized through, and it was almost like not disappointing, but it was deterring me from really trying to do something with other people and industry wise. There was a whole bunch of talk and not enough action. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just rock out myself. I used to make so many CDs in my house. I bought a CD tower. I was burning them CDs, putting the stickers on them, trying to make them look official, printing out my own like labels and stuff, like for the CD, get the jewel case. My house was like a factory at that at that point, because I had jewels, CDs from different colors. I had blues, I had oranges and reds. I was just trying to make it fancy and draw attention to it. So I was going crazy with that, and I just hand it out to whoever wanted it. I didn't even sell it like that. If people want to give me money, I'm gonna take it, but I just wanted people to hear it. Let that word of mouth just go crazy. And in Maryland, there wasn't a big hip hop community like that. Maybe in DC, there was a little bit, but I was like probably 30, 40 minutes away from DC. So I was doing a lot of stuff. And when my brother got locked up, it like put the battery in my back. So when he come home, let's really put this together. And when he came home, we recorded so much music. And at that point, I was rocking with blocSonic, and I was like, I got this project. They was like, cool, slide it through. We narrowed it down. I narrowed it down to like, I don't remember how many tracks, but it was a lot of tracks on that first album. I narrowed it down, and I still had leftover that I ended up putting on Classic Material Volume 4 and carried it off to other stuff. So I was just releasing a bunch of music, but within that, the Deadly Combo stuff, we started doing shows, and it was, I swear, man, doing shows with my brother on stage, that's dope.
That felt good.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome, man. You guys had that chemistry since day one, and then you were able to just, especially, it's got to be that much more special given the fact that he had to do a bid and then come home, and salute to you for having keeping the keeping the torch and keeping it going, and having something there for him when he got out to look forward to, and also be a part of and participate in, and be able to channel his energy and focus into something, that was established. And you guys, of course, being brothers, it's that much more special. So
hell yeah.
that's got to feel good to you as a brother to be able to do that. Was you said your older brother or younger brother? My apologies.
He's older by 1 year.
By 1 year.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
just 1 year. So we was rocking out. We did a bunch of shows together, and it was always fun. Like I always used to look forward to getting on stage and doing our stuff. And we're very different personality wise and rhyme wise. He's more street. I'm more backpackish. But that's that deadly combo right there. When we put it together, it works. And he made beats too, so we was rocking on beats when he got home. And he might have been the one who introduced me to Acid Pro. That's where I started
Acid
making
Pro.
beats
Ooh,
on.
I played with Acid Pro. I had to do audio work for a website back in starting in '99, back in the early days of multimedia, like high speed internet and everything like that. And Acid Pro was what I used to do a lot of stuff in. Man, that was a dope program.
Yeah, it worked for what I needed it to do. Cause like Dr. Beckett gave me that first start. He was working on an MPC, and I would watch him make beats on that, and it was dope. He's just not only is he a dope producer, he's a super dope MC, and so seeing that, but the price of that thing was so much. Like I was like being introduced to something I can do on my computer was great for me financially wise, because is whatever.
Oh,
And
I
then you
mean,
just
yeah, buying it was it's just even like DJing. I mean, you just had to buy just buying all the equipment. I mean, in '90s, MPCs were thousands of dollars,
oh
keyboards
hell
were
yeah.
thousands of dollars, and then you had to have upgrades, and then not to boot, you had to buy an ADAT or a DAT or tape or however reel to reel, or a 4 track, or however you did it. Um, you know, if you were trying to get all of the extra thing, I mean, every single effect unit you had to buy compressors, limiters, verb, all of the different effect units, and you had to have a board and
Oh yeah.
everything, right? And once the invention of the computer and the recording software, it just opened up everything. But just like anyone from our unk age or from the 1900s, like my kids like to tell me, you know, all of us found a way to figure out how to do it, right? And one of the things that was dope was when I interviewed Doomy last week, Doomy Wright. He talked about when he was recording his first album or first rhymes and everything like that. He would hit play on the song. He had one of the little micro cassette recorders, with the little
Oh yeah.
dictation things, and he would have the
That's that detective thing.
yeah,
He's just
that thing, right? He'd have the music playing, and basically in the background, and he would just rhyme into it, and he was like, it sounded mad airy and everything like that, but
Oh hell
you
yeah.
still did, and you still put it out. You figured out a way to put out because it was something that was important to you, to be creative and get your passion out because it was that important to you. So
Yeah.
being figuring out how to do it, because if you want to do it, then you figure it out and you fucking use what you have, right?
Oh
So
hell yeah.
yeah. So MROK, your EPK traces a period where you move through like the rave, techno, and jungle before returning to focus to hip hop. Tell me about the years and what did they teach you and teach your ears about like drums, tempo, tension, the build up, the arrangement, because especially like if I think about drum and bass and like one of the formats that I like, that because I'll be honest with you, I was one of the DJs that didn't necessarily have an ear until I got older, because I was like strictly hip hop and R&B and soul and funk and jazz and that stuff, and like the EDM or the electronic music scene. I was, just not really focusing on that. So my ear wasn't really accustomed to it. But shout out to my brother Danny Chaz, who's in London. He was like, "No, you need to listen to Liquid," and he got me introduced to Liquid, and I was like, "Man, I like this," especially as a grown man. It's like the ambience and like like the build and the rise and the how everything is, but also with the drums the way they are and everything like that, because especially like there's so many different genres of EDM music or electronic music, right? And the things that I did mess with and listen to and have to DJ, was like Chicago house, because that was huge. Where like when I was DJing parties and stuff like that, you had to play Chicago house and like Percolator and all types of stuff, and Plastic Dreams and all, like, because there was steps and line dances, and you had to be able to go into your bag and pull out and at least put a 10 to 15, maybe a 30-minute set together to get everybody happy. And so like, tell me about like, what was it that made you switch gears and focus on that? What was it that drew you to it? And then, of course, definitely, what did it teach you?
Yeah, man, absolutely. So, I'll start by saying I think hip hop and those other genres are maybe, they have a little more synergy than people tend to think. For me, it was gradual. I've always loved fast, noisy hip hop. I love Bomb Squad stuff. I've loved electronic hip hop since the get-go, when I heard like Arthur Baker's stuff and Planet Rock. Curtis Mantronic, like his production is super like electronic. I've always liked faster tempos, and I've always liked noise and a lot of layers and stuff like that. So what was happening was I was tracking with hip hop forever. I loved it. But sprinkled in there, I heard like Beat This by Bomb the Bass, or I heard What Time Is Love by KLF, or Radioactive by Downtown Science. And I started to hear these like kind of electronic, like dancey elements, like starting to come into play a little bit. And the tempo of hip hop, for me anyway, slowed down when Dre released The Chronic. And I feel like it changed so much, man. Like I love Dre with like the NWA albums, the Eazy-E's album, the DOC's album especially.
Oh my God.
And then when The Chronic came out, it's like, I didn't get it. It just like, it was too slow for me. And I
went into the funk.
Yeah, I think it went into the funk, and it just felt, is way more laid back, and I can look back on that album now and appreciate it more and respect it more. But at the time, I'm like, I'm not vibing with this too much. And then I started hearing more stuff kind of get slower, and like, I wanted hyped, like, I wanted Big Daddy Kane to be doing Raw, I wanted that fast, like, let's go. I like to dance, and I like to make people dance. And it's part of like the blessing of being a DJ, is to fill a dance floor and share that energy. So anyway, I started getting put on to jungle and drum and bass. And one of the things that kind of like converted me over was, I'm like, holy crap, man, they use the amen break a lot in like drum and bass and jungle. And I love the amen break. It's one of my favorites, like right after Funky Drummer, like amen break is my favorite. And then I'm like, man, a lot of these like electronic songs, they're using like hip hop samples. They're like taking like parts of lyrics from songs that I know and love, and they're putting them in there. And I'm even hearing scratching on some of these things. And, I'm like, all right, like this actually fits my energy a little bit more at this like point in time right now. Like, and I just kind of made the gradual transition into that. And it wasn't that I didn't like hip hop anymore. I just kind of like I just kind of moved away from it, and I was so immersed in the electronic stuff, techno, freestyle, industrial, jungle, rave, breakbeat, hardcore, all that, that I kind of lost touch with what was going on the hip hop side. And I missed so much cool stuff at the time. Like, so much awesome stuff dropped, and I just totally missed it because I was in that world. So, but the common threads for me are dope rhythms, electronic instrumentation, making people want to dance. Originally, hip hop was a lot about making people want to dance, and that didn't become cool anymore. I don't know where that went, but and I just think that, like, you know, we would go to clubs and they throw on like "It Takes Two," my favorite song of all time, followed by a freestyle song. Like, yeah, man, rest in peace. They throw a freestyle song on by like Stevie B or, you know, Stacy Q or, you know, whatever. And like, they're using 808s, they're using 909s, just like the hip hop guys are. They're using samples. And I'm like, it all kind of, like, for me, worked together. And it's just like one big happy family as far as like my musical taste. So, yeah.
So it wasn't just for the girls.
It was not just for the girls, no.
Because you had to go to the electronic or the EDM clubs to, you know what I mean? If it was a hip hop club, like, there wasn't that many girls there as much as when you went to the electronic clubs, or, you know what I mean? That girls were there. It was
yeah, man. So, and like, I won't ramble on about this, but I have really happy memories. Senior year of college, I was dating this girl, and like, we met. We were set up it was like a blind date, right?
Yeah.
And it was we were meeting at a place to play pool, and I suck at pool, and like, I did not impress her at all with my pool skills, right? So right, like, 2 doors down was this club called Avalon in Boston, and it's not there anymore. They took it down. But I'm like, hey, you want to go to the club before I walk you home? She's like, yeah. We got in the club, and like, we both found out we loved the same type of music. We knew the same songs. Like, when we danced together, it was like perfect. And like, our favorite thing was going to the club together. So like, senior year, if I wasn't like doing schoolwork, I was at the club at Avalon with this girl, and like, it was just awesome, man. So like, I loved the lights. I loved watching the DJ. I loved trying to figure out what it was that they were playing, because they were removed, man. The DJ booth was up off the floor. People weren't like standing around them with their phones, like watching them. We were all dancing and like getting crazy and stuff. So
yeah.
I think that club kind of saved my ass with dating this girl, because my pool skills were not on par. They're not to this day. So yeah.
Hey, I'm there with you, man. As pool goes, I stink. I stink at bowling. I stink at pool, but I like to do it anyway. It's fun stuff to do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, pool, nah. I'm not. I mean, I can play pool. I started playing pool. Like, my dad would pull me out of school, in elementary school, and because he would pretty much be like, I'm gonna go to the pool hall and drink with my friends and shoot pool, or go play golf or something like that, and I'm gonna come get you early. And like, we would just go to these pool halls, and some of it would be like biker bars and stuff like that. But I remember just sitting in it, and still, I don't know, I just could never. That was something I never really, in my, because I'm very competitive, right, with anything that I do, and like, just had never been good enough to be good at pool, or am I considered, am I? Am I back?
Oh, now
Can
you
hear
are.
me? All right, great. I do not know why that cord went out. All right, this has been a really weird night. Everybody's the spirits are working against us, man. All right. So anyway, it's time to shut up about pool. I would say that what I was trying to get to is that, you know, it's great because I have always connected with folks through music. 100%. That has been the thing that I've made all of my relationships, friendships, and even to this day when I meet new people, it's been through music. And it's great that, you know, you had that memory to be able to go and talk about, you know, and really connect with somebody through the love of music.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, that's dope, man. CM, like you moved to New York. You moved from New York to Maryland in, what was it? 1996. And you kept recording independently. You know, how did leaving like the Lower East Side change your writing, your network, or your artistic identity, or any of that stuff? Did it have any impact, or like did it make you grow, or did you open up your network? Or tell us about that.
For sure. So moving from New York to Maryland, music while I was in New York, I didn't have the opportunities to perform like that. I knew people who did music, but everybody was pretty much just trying to do themselves. Like, it was competitive back then. And so when I moved to Maryland, the people that I surrounded myself with, everybody was, being a New York guy, everybody kind of gravitates towards you, especially when you're in a slower town like Maryland, like a slower city like Maryland.
You're like, oh, it's the dude from New York. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then they know you rhyme, so everybody who's trying to rhyme, they start gravitating towards you just to get that energy. So, the people that I started conversing with musically out there, they helped me expand for sure, because out there in Maryland it was all go-go. Hip hop was, I guess it was prevalent. I didn't hear a super lot of it, but go-go was rocking out there. And that sound, it grew on me. At first I was like, oh, this is not hip hop at all. They might use some hip hop in their stuff. They might like, they'll do a version of hip hop using go-go. But for the most part, it was like, I need them boom-baps. They got a lot of congos and stuff in that stuff. So, but the longer I stood there, the more it grew on me, and I had a super appreciation for it now. But there was a lot more opportunities for me to rock out in Maryland than I did in New York. So a lot of people, I was meeting a lot of different styles. There's a lot of down south styles that people were like performing. And as a New York guy, I felt like I represented to the fullest. And then I had to get out of my ego and learn that, you know, it's not just New York who rocks. There's a lot of other styles that are just as dope or even doper, depending on who's flipping it. But yeah, now, shoot, man, all I want to do is collaborate with people with different styles. Is to that point where I just love collaborating. And if you got your own thing, shoot, I want to jump in there, show my style, you show your style, let's mesh together, let's make something super dope. And that's how I've been rocking.
That's dope, man. And shout out to the DMV, man, and especially go-go. You know, when you say go-go, I automatically think of Chuck Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one of my favorite songs is Busted Loose. Give me the bridge now. You know what I mean? Like, that song right there, especially, you want to talk about a breakdown for your ass. Like, if y'all don't know Chuck Brown, Bustin' Loose, man, that's an album that you need to dig. That's one of my, out of my personal stashes, that will go with anything and anything, man. And you can put that in a set, and like, just even if you loop some of the breakdowns, because he said the bongos and everything in it like that, it's just got such a funky ass. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's one of my favorites right there. Go-Go's dope, man. And
It's
Chuck
dope.
Brown is one of the founding fathers of Go-Go, in my opinion. So, and much
Yeah.
love to him.
He
But
definitely
yeah,
respected out there as
yeah.
one of the founders.
Got a bunch of dope DJs that I've networked with through Twitch since my journey and time on there that are out of the DMV, man. And nothing but, it's a dope scene out there. It's really a musical place, and of course,
Hmm.
Parliament Funkadelic refers to it as CC, Chocolate City.
Oh
You
yeah.
you can't forget about that. I'm a humongous funk fan because, of course, I'm from Ohio, Cincinnati originally, and that's just built in me, So yeah, MROK. Tell me, your catalog separates original production, original or an official remixes, turntable cuts. Break down the difference in the mindset between building a record, rebuilding someone else's record, and entering a finished track as a DJ that's got to lay some cuts down. There's
Yeah,
a
man.
lot going on in between. You have to really change, your mindset in between that. Tell me about that. How do you do that?
Yeah. So when I'm producing, I'm basically building something out of nothing, and the canvas is kind of clean, and it's like, all right, let me see where this can go, and it kind of feels like freedom. There's no like rules because you're basically building something from scratch, and I kind of feel like, okay, this is where I can try some different stuff and push some things that I haven't done before, explore some whatever. And it's, I don't know, man, it just feels like complete freedom. And so I feel very uninhibited when I'm producing because it's like sky's the limit, man. We're gonna make dope music, and wherever this goes, it goes. And CM will tell you, like, I'll create the original tracks, but then after I submit it to CM or other MCs I've worked with and they give it back to me, they've now left their imprint on it, and they've taken it. A lot of times they will take it in a totally different direction than I ever envisioned in my head. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is the song now. And I go back and like, I will rearrange stuff. I'll drop stuff out. I will change instrumentation or the beat altogether to
Yeah.
support what they're doing vocally, because I want to be the canvas that they tell their story on. So that's how I approach production. When I'm doing a remix, I'm like, okay, here's the original song. It's super dope. I'm glad I get to do a remix of it. Let me take it in a completely different direction, without losing the integrity of the original song. But let me see what I can do with it. And like, man, a good example, like, and I have not achieved this, I'm just saying this is what inspires me, is Pete Rock's remixes, man. The Shut 'Em
my
Down
God.
remix, Jump Around remix. Don't, like, man, he took those tracks and he just took them into a whole different vibe. And both are good next to each other, but like they're different and they're just so dope. So I always try to approach a remix like that. Like, how can I Pete Rock this, And it's impossible because he's Pete Rock.
It's Pete Rock, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then scratching on someone's track, like I view the turntables as an instrument, right? So it's like if I was a guitarist and I was invited to play on a finished track, I could be obnoxious and just shred through the whole thing and just like, put all the attention on the guitar. Yeah. Or it's like, no. How do I augment this? How do I throw in some like notes here? And how do I do this here and there? And you're kind of adding spice to a dish that's already been created. If you overspice, it's too much. It's not going to be good. But if you add just the right amount, it can sound really good because you're punctuating things and you're building like tension and dynamics and you're not oversaturating everything. And that is still something I am trying to learn how to do, is have a little more restraint when I'm asked to scratch, because I feel like I overdo it. And then a lot of times the producers will like take stuff out. So I'm like, okay, I see what you guys did there. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, that's dope though. I mean, still you're giving them stuff to be able to use, and they can fill it in where they want and how they want. It's like, here's what I've got. go ahead and use it as you may well please, right?
Absolutely.
And it's still a collaborative thing, so
100%.
there's nothing wrong with that, because you got multiple takes or whatever, and it is what it is. I don't think you're overdoing it at all. It's what you're feeling, and then you've got a producer. It's just like an MC going into the booth when you're producing. When you guys both wear production hats, and MC will have an idea in their mind when they go in there, and you're like, nah, how about you approach it like this? You know what I mean? And it locks in. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason to think of it like negative. It's all good. It's a good thing. So yeah, man, salute to you on that.
Thank you.
CM, tell me about C the 76er. Began as a production identity born from necessity. What forced you to start making your own beats, and when did C the 76er become more than a solution and develop into like your own separate musical voice?
All right. So I've never had a DJ or a producer for me personally. It was when I got into music, it was Dr. Beckett supplying those beats for that EP that never came out, and then it was dry. After that, it was like I used to rock with the singles to get instrumentals, but I wanted my own stuff. Like I could rap over other people's beats like that are out there that have official songs to them, but it didn't feel natural to do it like that. So once my brother introduced me to that Acid Pro, I went crazy. Because before then, I bought me a Casio, and that Casio had 4 banks that I can save my whatever I come up with. But I had to play everything throughout it. It didn't loop or anything. So I had to think, all right, I got a melody, and I had to play the melody as long as I can, and I had to like count. Okay, four bars for the intro. Maybe I do a hook in the beginning, then I gotta go into the verse and a hook, and so I had to map all that out in my head and then play it, and then come up with the drums and maybe a bass line, and I had one more track for maybe hi-hats or whatever it was. So I was doing that, and it was just a long process. And if you mess up, you gotta start back from scratch. And so I bought me that, and I had like a little karaoke machine because it had this microphone and it had 2 tape decks. So I would put the tape deck one with the beat that I just made on my Casio, record it into the system, put that on the other side. Now I got to get another tape and let that play. Got the microphone, record it into the second. And those tapes were so dirty and hissy and disgusting. It got to the point where that didn't suffice anymore. And so once I got that Acid Pro, I was like, oh, you can sample, I could bring samples in, I could chop samples, I can do all this extra stuff to it. And now I'm digging into my own style, I'm making tracks galore after that. Now everybody coming over to the house because they want to get on these CM tracks, and it was a great thing. And I started growing more and more, learning, because when you first start, everything sounds basic. You just want the raw. You want your hook and your verse, and maybe change it up just enough so you could tell what's what. But then as the more I did it, the more I got into doing more than just change ups. You do the drops. You might even add different sounds to it. You might even completely switch the beat halfway through, whatever comes to mind. And so now when I was doing the classic materials, those stem from when I was dropping stuff on Acid Planet, which was part of Acid Pro. It had their own website. You go on that website and you can upload music and have people judge you on it. Yeah. And they'll rate it. They'll put comments if you suck or it was good or whatever it was. And that community really helped me because I got to showcase my stuff without to strangers, no yes men. Those people on there could be super brutal, and some people are just straight haters. And then you get a little beef, and you put a little diss track, you put it up, and now everybody's rating a diss track, and people know each other now because the community is what it is. So I'm making friends with producers and MCs, and it was so fun to be in that group, and I still talk to them to this day. I did that back in 2004, and I still rock with some of those guys. They like Cheese and Pot C. I met them on Acid Planet first, and Cheese went by a different name. He went by DJ Hot Wings, and he was pretty much a producer. And so I would get hungry, beats from him. Yeah,
right.
And he was the only person I knew who scratched, like really scratched crazy on that stuff. So I would always try to get him get on a beat from him because I knew he was gonna do a scratch hook. So we built that community, and from that community, I got to showcase my beat skills, and people either rock with it or didn't, but it just gave me more confidence. So the classic material volume 1 and 2 and probably 3, I was dumping beats. Those majority of those are my beats, and then every once in a while somebody send me a beat where I make a dope song that I wanted to put on the classic material. So that's where it stemmed from. And these days, I don't do as much beats because I get so much now. Before it was a drought. Now I'm just drowning in beats. And so the producer hat, I put it on every once in a while. But for the most part, I rock with what people give me. And I can focus on just writing rhymes. But I love producing. It's never going to go away. I released a track called Anime Chris, which was pretty much me coming back into producing. I had took a departure from it for a little bit, and I had the idea to sample animes I remember from way back when, that sparked ideas in my head just listening to it as a younger person. And now I got the time to dive back into it and shape it, mold it for me to rhyme again on it. And every once in a while, somebody will ask for a beat for a remix or something, so I'll do that. If somebody asks me for a beat, I'm gonna jump on it. But as far as for me doing my own beats for a project for myself is not a priority, but I'd still like to tweak and do stuff like that. Like I got ideas, got plenty of ideas. I still got plenty of beats from what I've done in the past and some that I've done recently. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'll put them together and do just a strictly CM album. I've done EPs, but that's the goal now. Just do a CM C to 76er album and see how that turns out.
That's dope, man. Salute. And I mean, do you think that some of the music or, tracks that you've held back, could it be because you're maybe being too critical?
When it comes to beats, for sure. Because I get beats from so many people, and they do some crazy stuff with it that it does make me like, oh, okay, what I'm doing isn't up to par to what these people are doing. And I get so much of it these days. I kind of just tuck my stuff on a back burner. But every once in a while, I'll go through my files and I'll hear it, and I'll be like, dang, that shit does rock. That shit got some knock to it. I could definitely write something to this. I just gotta, once I get the lyrics down, I can mold and shape it around what the song is. And yeah, I got some stuff, man. It's just, I put out a couple of EPs, not EPs, but albums through C to 76er, yeah, where the first one was like 40 tracks of beats I used on songs. So those beats already had verses on them at some point, and I just released them as instrumentals and snippets. And gotcha. Then I put a second one out where they were tracks that I probably didn't want to rhyme on, but they still sound dope, and it's a vibe. So I call it the vibe, and it not always necessarily a hip hop beat, but it's something that you can listen to and vibe out to. And then I did the anime Chris. I released that as an instrumental as well, and I added a couple of extra songs that I didn't make a track for it, but they were just leftovers that still sound dope to me.
Yeah. And you mentioned, basically how you went back into the vault, back into the files, and started listening to stuff, and you were like, this does, and I know from experience, listening to something over and over and over and over,
Yeah.
it gets monotonous and kind of you lose track and sight of, and then also even the feeling and the groove, to it, where you need to put some time and space in between that,
Yeah.
and then go back to it however long, and then really give it a listen to. And I do like this, and this is maybe I have an opportunity to polish it right here, but if I do this, then I'm in the pocket. You know what I mean? So don't ever throw anything away. Be a digital hoarder.
I've had issues where I'll make a beat and I'll be like, oh, this shit is fantastic. And I'll sleep on it and I wake up and I listen to it. I'll be like, what is this trash? What is this trash I just put together? It sounded so much better last night, and now this morning it sounds like something different. So, but then I get that opposite where I'm not feeling this beat. I'll put it away, and then I come back to it and be like, wow, like this thing got potential right here. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's the beauty of having a fresh ear and a fresh listen after, given some time and separation. I wanted to ask you, before I ask the next question for you, MROK, the one thing that during research, your radio work, you created Beat Vandals, a scratch music program on Graffiti Kings radio in the United Kingdom. And basically you reported that you had 43,000 listeners for the first episode. Tell me about creating that, and especially, it over in the UK and do it. Tell me about that experience and how that came about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I believe that it came up on my Instagram feed that Graffiti Kings Radio was looking for DJs for slots and show ideas. So I was like, oh, cool. This kind of remind me of my Boston University days, right? But I wanted to dedicate a show to turntablism music or instrumentals that had a lot of cuts and scratches on it, and really make it scratch music focused. So playing stuff from Mixmaster Mike and Qbert, and older stuff from Jam Master Jay and Grandmaster Flash, and anything that had cuts on it that was dope. That was the idea. So I pitched it to them, and they were like, yeah, that sounds good. We don't have anything like that. That sounds good. They wanted me to live stream, and I didn't have the technology at the time to be able to do that reliably, especially because they were in the UK, and I was just worried about issues with I didn't know how to do it. So what I asked them to do is, can I pre-record the show, and then you guys can air it whenever you want, and that way you've got the show, you don't have to worry about anything, and I can get around not having the technology to stream it live, right now. And they said yes. So anyway, I sent them stuff, and I sent them some shows, and yeah, man, they let me know when the first one was going to air. And so I watched it live stream, and I was just watching the listeners just go up and up and up, and I'm like, that number can't be right. That's probably 43 listeners, right? Or maybe 4.3. And I'm like, oh my God, no, it really is 43,000. And it's just the first show. And that was great. I did it. I think I did 3 shows, and I was realizing as I was working at pouring all this effort into these shows, as much as I enjoyed it, I'm like, I could be using this time to make my own music. I could be scratching on my own stuff right now. This is great, but I'm a dad. I have a full-time job. There's limited time. And I'm like, I think I'm going to be kind of selfish and just focus on my music for a bit. So I stopped with the Graffiti Kings radio, but I shout out to them for giving me the opportunity, and for anyone who tuned in. It was a great experience, and I hope people dug it for those 3 episodes. So,
That's sick.
yeah.
And speaking of working on your own projects, one of those, projects such as Night of the Living Jeep Beats and Escape the Yard, really you place DJing and break beats and graffiti history at the center. And how do you honor hip hop foundation without making it like music trapped in nostalgia? Like, you feel me on that question?
Yeah, that's a slippery slope, man, because I am all about to, with the exception of an album like this, which has got a different sound to it. But like, let's say I'm doing Tower of Babylon or Escape the Yard or Night of the Living Jeep Beats, like you mentioned. I'm kind of in my head, I'm back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I'm reimagining like what the clothes were like, what the vibe was like, what the clubs were like, what the sound was like, what the Alpine systems in the cars were like, and the trunks that were just full speakers, and the Suzuki Samurais, and all that stuff, right? And
Yes.
like that's my North Star, that's my point of truth. And I'm like, if I can't imagine this being played back then it's not going to work. Like, I want it to sound classic. What I don't want it to sound like is like something you've already heard a million times, and it's like, oh, like, this is played out, man. Like, you're doing exactly the same thing that they did back then, but you haven't put your spin on it, or you haven't evolved it in any way, or taken it like with a twist or whatever. So it's a slippery slope. I don't ever want it to be corny or like, oh, he's obviously just paying homage to whatever, he's trying to be Marley Marl, right? I don't ever want to be that guy, but hopefully people that like Marley Marl will pick up little influences in the music and be like, oh yeah, man, this kind of brings me back, like, I like this stuff. So that's always kind of the goal, is to just be in that keep that sound alive, but not like make it feel like it's stale or it's corny or it's whack or it's tired. I don't know if I always pull it off, but I try.
Oh, you pull it off, man. You pull it off. I mean, you wouldn't be working with the people that you're working with and doing what you're doing if you wouldn't, if you're not pulling it off. So yeah, I mean, you've got cosigns from a lot of people, and uh, I got to ask CM a question, but you have the classic material series, which you referred to earlier, and it stretches from volumes 1 and 2 in 2007 and '08, and then through volume 5 in 2024. What has the phrase classic material meant to you during each stage of your life, and basically how has your standard for earning that title changed over time?
Mm. So when I did 1 and 2, um, it originally stemmed from not just the sound of it, but it was, especially the first one. I just had old songs that nobody's ever heard, and to me, those were just classic material tracks that I had. So when I put Volume 1 together, it was just a bunch of old songs. Um, it probably stemmed from like a couple different projects I did, and I just grabbed the best of them and put it on that Volume 1. Um, I I'm a kid from the '90s. I mean, I grew up in the '70s. And all my hip hop is from the '80s and '90s. So that was my frame of reference of where I felt like I was a student of. So the sounds that I was bringing in the 2000s isn't what was presented that time. It was a lot of South music that was reigning supreme at that time. Even New Yorkers were sounding pretty South-ish. So what I was presenting was a throwback to the '90s, and Volume 2 and 3. Probably Volume 2 was kind of similar because I've recorded a whole bunch of music prior to 2007, but nobody's ever heard it. And I got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm not going to chase a mainstream, a major like company to try to put me out there. I'm gonna do this on my own. It's the only way I can be myself and put out music that I want to hear. I want people to hear from me. Prior to that, I would talk to people and they would try to be like, hey, that's cool, but that's not what's popping right now. Why don't you try this? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, but it's not me. It's for me, hip hop comes from the heart, the soul. I don't want to pretend to be somebody that I'm not just to sell records. It's never been my goal to put out fake music so I can get a bag. Like, I want to put music out there that connects with other people who might be going through what I'm going through or feeling what I'm feeling at the time. And that's classic to me. So as I was going through the volumes, especially if you listen to Volume 1 and you listen to Volume 5, those are totally different projects.
They are, but they're still sick, and I can still hear a connective tissue. There's still connective tissue there. It's a growth, right?
For sure.
It's evolution.
For sure. The what I'm talking about in 2007 isn't what I'm talking about in 2024. But the like the core, the essence of it is definitely the same. And I try to play a lot now. Like I say my bread and butter is 93, 94 type vibes. I'm gonna give it to you like that. But every now and then I like to jump out there, try something different. If you listen to like the old Man Lugo EP, the first one, you'll hear me play a little bit. Just the rhymes, I dance a little more on those rhymes than I did on a classic material thing. But it's all about growth and all about growing. Like I'm a almost 50-year-old man. A lot of people be like, "Oh, you're too old to rap." But look at what these guys are doing right now. Nas and that whole mass appeal run they had last year. Oh man, I loved it. That whole Slick Rick, Raekwon, Ghostface, Nas himself.
Chuck
so
D,
much.
he turned 66 this weekend. Happy birthday, Chuck
Still
D.
rocking.
Yeah, hell
Still
yeah.
rocking big crowds right now. So the ageism in hip hop, I'm hoping it fades. It's a young man's game, but we got our own lane. We have people who still rock and who has grown up with hip hop like we have, and they want to hear that real. They don't want to hear all that, and no knock to anybody.
Yeah.
But there's a lane for everybody. So if you like the guns and the drugs, there's plenty of music out there for that. If you like the ass shaking and all that other stuff, there's music for that too. And we got the grown people music. And just because we speaking grown don't mean we can't rock a mic or we can't move a crowd, we can't shake some people's asses at the same time. We do it all pretty much. We're not just stuck in a box. And that's what I love about being especially the older guy. Yeah, I don't have to be stuck in a box. I can play around in other playgrounds too and come back home with it.
Yeah. And to speak to the fact about the ageism, right? Ageism doesn't exist in any other genre.
Right?
Rock, country, whatever it is, right? Madonna's still bringing her Botoxed self out. You know what I mean?
You go, girl.
You sure that's Madonna? I think that it might be somebody else. It might be somebody.
Night of the Living. Look, like my thing is that, and Danny said no age in jungle is either. But the thing that I will say is that I've had a gentleman, his name is Old School Ice Cream. He is currently, he has a group called, oh my God, So he works with a female MC also that is super super ill. Her name's EP the Hellcat, and they but he has petitioned and is basically getting it. He's had it installed in several award shows. He's trying to make it become a nationally um, accepted genre because hip hop, we're over 50 years old now. And just like any other music, there's subgenres of hip hop. There shouldn't be, Lil Yachty competing with Nas, right?
Right,
Two different
right.
characters,
Two
two different
different, yeah.
animals, two
Yep.
different lanes, two different audiences, two different crowds, right? So he has, a term which I love and like embrace. And what I say is, the traditional sound, traditional form of hip hop. Like people call it gold school or the boom-bap or whatever, but it's called adult contemporary hip hop. Now, with that being said, it doesn't mean that you have to be an old artist, because there are a tremendous amount of younger artists that are very much doing
Yeah.
that sound, and they are
Ah.
part of adult contemporary hip hop, which is ACH for short. And the name of the group is called Abstract Mindstate, and they have the credit of having the only album that's 100% produced by Kanye West, and like not even Kanye's albums are 100% produced by Frank.
Right.
Because he was very, when they tell the story, he was very protective of them, and they ended up recording it during the time when the Wyoming ranch sessions, when he was out there.
Yeah.
And he was also one of Kanye's very first, or was Kanye's very first person in regards like his A&R, and really helped him behind the scenes and shaped good music and everything, that the projects that he put out and the people that he collaborated with. And he's a very gifted individual. Follow Old School Ice Cream, especially. He's trying to get this thing called adult contemporary hip hop submitted, and I'm all for getting the hip hop section to be increased into just outside of just hip hop, right? I want us to be able to go to adult contemporary hip hop. There's emo hip hop. There's, trap. There's drill. There's all these subgenres, just like rock, just like country, just like any other music should be that way. We deserve our respect, and it needs to be respected, because if you listen to the majority of those other genres that are coming out now, it's all hip hop based anyway. Who would have ever thought that country music would be hip hop?
Right. Yeah.
It's weaved into all the fabrics at this point.
Yes. So, it's very much something that, I like to always talk about and promote to folks, and let them know, like, hey, get out there, support, and also know that there is no ageism. There's none. And there's no reason for anyone that's even wanting to start to get into the game to let their age hold them back, because with your age comes wisdom, there comes life's lessons. There's things that you didn't think about at 25 because your brain was just starting to be fully developed, right? That you think about at 50, and you realize, and you've had some lessons that you had to learn the hard way. And it's a shame if you go through all of that stuff and you don't share it with the people, and maybe try to help other people not fall into that same pitfall, right? So it's time for us to get into digital domain and what we've got cooking now. This question is going to be, and these questions are going to be for both of you guys, and I want you guys to feel free to chime in as you like. But your paths publicly crossed for the first time that I was able to find on Station Break from Chuck D's Presents, Enemy Radio. Radio Armageddon with CM on the record and MROK receiving co-production credits. Walk me through how that record came together and whether it, planted the seed for this album.
All right. Before we start, our very first connection was actually on Tower of Babylon.
Thank you for that correction.
I was with the Impossibles. Mm-hmm. So I was with C-Doc, myself, one other member of the Impossibles, and Nordic One. So we did the 4 Elements, and that's the first time I've been on a MROK beat. And then later, probably not too much after that, was the Station Break. Even though it took a while to come out, because I recorded that maybe like 2 years ago.
Okay.
I want to say. And C-Doc was the one who gave me the original beat, and it was similar to what it is, but it didn't have all those change ups and sound effects in it. It was pretty bare bones. So C-Doc sent me that last minute. He was like, "Hey, I got this project that we are doing, Enemy Radio. I'm trying to get you on it, but you pretty much, like, the windows is pretty short, so let me know if you can jump on it." I was like, hell yeah. So I wrote a longer verse than what you heard, and I sent it away, and I was expecting it the way he framed it. I thought it was gonna be a faster process than it was, and it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't hear it for like a year or something, and I didn't want to be like, hey, where's that track at? Like, let them handle that. It's gonna come out when it come out. And then so then I got to hear the finished product of it, and it was so dope and different, but it was shorter. So I was like, okay, they used what they used, because I was kind of questioning that second part anyway, because I wrote it so fast, because I didn't want to miss the opportunity to be on that project. So they took the best of it, made that work, and then I found out later that MROK was the one who juiced it up. He put the steroids in that thing and really cranked it up with all this. It just came out super dope. So then prior to that, I had asked C-Doc, hey, I'm dropping a lot of stuff on blocSonic at this point, but I want to expand. Me and C-Doc been rocking pretty tough since 2014. And he's been giving me opportunities to be on all these different projects. I was like, hey, you're running SpitSLAM right now. You think I can jump on something? Like, can I release a project on SpitSLAM? And he's like, yeah, for sure. So I like, bet. And then he was like, let me jump on, let me see who I got for production wise. And he gave me a little pack of MROK beats at that time. And I was like, cool. So I get the beats and I listen, and I'm like, okay, I got this one. I could do something with that. And then I kind of I let that thing fall to the wayside, because I was busy with life. Life was lifing. And
yep. Boy,
oh yeah. And I just didn't have the time to like sit back and record at that point. Plus I was doing other projects. So I think like a couple of years passed by, and C-Doc was like, hey, you still trying to release something? I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely want to release something. So I found the beats, and then I started writing to them, and I recorded 2 and I sent it to C-Doc, and I was like, hey, I just wanted to get some feedback, see if the direction was right. And he was like, hey, those beats, we not rocking with those beats no more. He got MROK got something else he might use though. He's not even feeling a lot of the beats that he sent. So I was like, damn, okay. So those songs are out of here. He's like, but MROK is doing something. He's got this crazy sound he's working on. Is you just did a song with Head Snack that's in that realm. So Head Snack had this kind of wild, like dystopian type beat, and subject matter was like futuristic. So I had wrote something to that with C-Doc. We was both on the track. So he was like, it's kind of in that vein. You're already tapped into that thing. Do you think you would like to do an album like that? And I was like, damn, that's way different than what I'm putting out. That's
Yeah.
I just released volume 5 at that point, and I was all like 90s hip hop in there. So I was like, damn, that's different. But I don't mind playing with it. Let me just see what hits, what inspiration comes from just listening to the beats. So they sent me the beats, and I was like, the first one, it was like, okay, this is different, but I hear those drums, I hear those hip hop drums in there. I think I could play around with that. So I was. You ever watch the video of that? There's some guy online that takes like he'll have a pack of beats and he'll play for 3 seconds and be like, nah. he won't even let them things breathe. If they don't hit him right away, he'll just like, nah. So that's how I was when I was listening to MROK, John. I was like, okay. I hear the begin, okay. I hear the begin, okay. And then I was like, all right, he has a lot of build-up. Let me listen to it a little longer. so then I started like, oh, okay, let me try something. So I had already a verse for a song, but it had nothing, it had nowhere to go. And I think that was, it wasn't Catch a Break. It was the one with the lady. Like you have the
It's
lady's
Nah.
vocal.
Yeah.
Nah. So I had Nah for years. I had that thing for years, and I couldn't do anything with it. The original track that I did it on, it was an okay beat. It sparked the verse, but I don't really like it enough to release it. But I like the verses on it. So I was like, this track right here it's calling for that Nah beat, that Nah verse. So I like, all right, let me jump into the Nah verse. So I recorded that one first, and I was like, okay, I like the way this is coming together. And then I think the next one I might have wrote something original. It might have been, I think the first track I wrote original was, it could have been Put It on Ice. That beat was rocking. And when I played it, I was like, okay, boom, the pen started flowing. And at that point, I was like, not out of body, but it wasn't a CM. I was somebody else. I was somebody else speaking somebody else like language, and it started coming together. Like, okay, and that one I wrote pretty fast. I was at work. I was doing on call, just waiting for some bullshit to pop off. So I'm listening. I got that beat on repeat for like an hour, and I'm like, boom, boom. I hit that, and then I was like, oh, okay, this one came out dope. So I played the other beat, and I was like, oh man. So now I'm getting into it. It might have been what's the Truth Seeker? So Truth Seeker beat comes on, and I do a little intro, but like two guys looking for somebody. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's where I want to go with it. Boom. So these guys are looking for it, and now I'm in a whole different zone. So then it just started hitting me. I was like, okay, I got some ideas for other tracks. Like I said earlier, Catch a Break, I had that hook forever, but it fit that beat. Like I just kept repeating that hook while the beat was playing. And I was like, okay, this might be the one for this track. So then the verses came out super easy, and then the whole process. This is probably the fastest I wrote an album, because it only took, I want to say 3 weeks to a month, maybe, for me to write and then record it. Because I didn't want what happened last time happen this time. Like, I didn't want life to life. I didn't want life to throw the obstacles. So I was like, I'm gonna focus on writing these things right away. I'm not playing around with this. Yeah. So I locked in. I wrote majority of it within a 10-day span, and then I just had find time to record them, and then I send it off. Now, prior to that, MROK already gave me the blessings of being like, yo, this is the vibe of the album is what it is, but don't hold back. Like, do you.
Yeah.
He didn't give me instructions to be like, hey, I want this topic to be on this track, or the whole album has to be this thing. He didn't put a box around it. He said, do you. And then from there, it's just, the pen was writing. The pen was flowing super fast. And just being able to do something different than what I was already doing, that just gave me a whole lot of freedom to play around with it. And probably one of my favorite projects right now out of
Awesome.
all the other things I've done, even stuff that I've produced myself. This one, it feels different. Like when I listen, I've listened to it 1,000 times now, but when I listen to it, I get excited because it's something different. And not only that, it's got this energy to it that I know if once people hear it and it enters their soul, it's gonna make them move a little bit. It's gonna make them do something a little different than just the 2-step that I'm giving them. This is club full with people dancing and doing things to it, and I'm just so fortunate and blessed to be a part of this type of a project, and it just showcases not only what I can do, but what we can do together.
Yeah, man, you guys are such a dope combination together. What about you, MROK?
Man, I'm just blessed that CM came along. Sometimes the universe has different plans for us. We're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then it's like, no, you're not. You're going to actually go over here and do this. And that's what happened with the first set of beats, man. Like, I had made those years ago. I was in a different mind state when I created those. I had certain equipment that let me make those beats.
Yeah.
But as time went on, things evolved. I evolved. The equipment evolved. My energy evolved, and like this project came along, and like I said, man, like I never had any intention that it was going to be like polished tracks with vocals. So poor CM, like I gave him tracks that were just meant to be instrumentals. They were rough. They were, not mixed at all. And the fact that he was able to do anything on them, let alone write it all in 3 weeks, do what he did, I'm just blown away, and I'm blessed because he made them actual songs versus just like, instrumental, like an electronic hip hop mixtape, which is what I thought it was going to be. So just super blessed. And what's funny that it took us so long to like collaborate together, because Tower of Babylon came out years ago. As CM mentioned, C-Doc put that together under the Impossibles, and I've never been like, oh, I can just reach out to members of the Impossibles and try to collaborate like with Def Chad or CM. I'm like, C-Doc produces the Impossibles. That is not my lane. Like the fact that they were even on a track with me, I'm just thankful for that. Then Enemy Radio came along, and once again, C-Doc invited me in, but he was the originator of that project, and he'll credit me for turning it around or whatever, but do not listen to that guy. He crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. I came in and did my thing, but then after I was done, he did even more, and like it was amazing. So once again, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm following C-Doc's lead. I didn't feel like I could reach out to CM directly. Like I'm very respectful of like artist relationships, and it's like, if I'm invited, awesome, but I'm never going to like insert myself into something, whatever. So C-Doc hooked us up, and I'm so glad he did, because the end product was very different for me as well. And I had a smile on my face every time I got a new track from CM. I'm like, oh my God, he did this with it, or oh, listen to that hook, or listen to those rhymes, or this flow, or that intro with the two guys like search, like I would have never thought of that. So, dude, it was just so much fun, man. You were awesome, CM. I appreciate you. This was great.
Oh no, it's us two together, man. It's like the beats just brought something else out of me, and it gave me a playground to play in. And then just to top it off, because I was already in that mode of being someone else, and then after it's all wrapped up, he'd be like, "How about the Commodore? How you like that? You could be the Commodore." I'm like, "What? That's perfect."
Because you guys have your own names and characters or personas for this album.
He had already sprinkled that. He like, I'm thinking of being Vic 20. I want to be somebody different on this, like RZA. It was Bobby Digital. I was like, oh, word, okay. And then I didn't think of the being like someone else as far as coming up with a different name, but I did write as I was someone different. And then once he gave me back the not mastered version, he gave me what he's done with the beats since I gave him the verses, and I was like, okay, these sound way different than what I remember me working with. Like, you just juiced it up to like 100, and then he's like, how about the Commodore? And I was like, fuck yeah. It's got the CM already in there, so let me be the Commodore.
That's sick.
Yeah, man. The inspiration for this album is like, I'm really into cyberpunk stuff, and I'm like, I've been into it for a while, but I'm heavy into it now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have played the game Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh,
it's
dude.
Incredible, man. The anime
Gorgeous
for that,
game.
incredible.
I love the anime. The anime on that thing is great. I wish they would have had another one. I mean, the way they ended, but I just wanted it to continue.
Me too, man. Absolutely. Blade Runner is getting a resurgence. They're coming out with 2099 on Amazon. Ooh. Neuromancer's coming out on Apple Music. So I got kind of like cyberpunk on the brain, and like I wanted something that sounded cyberpunky, but like what I like about cyberpunk is it's like it's futuristic, but it's also kind of like old and dirty, and there's like a texture to it. And like older technology like the Commodore 64 and the VIC 20 that we grew up with, that just seemed like a natural fit. Like, we're from that era, we understand that technology, we get what that is, and like
when I first heard the skits, I was like, oh man, you're fucking my head up, because I remembered those commercials. Like, I'm old enough to remember
400 and 800.
Oh my god,
because it wasn't 26. The Atari 400 and 800 was like, we had the 400. My dad went out and bought that and got the cassette player that went with it, where you had games on cassette. It took 90 minutes to play a little ghetto game, like, but what was cool about it was the first machine that was close enough to actually have like what Pac-Man looked like in the arcade, and all that stuff. And it had a keyboard, you could program stuff into it. But like that whole era and genre of games, and that was before Nintendo, life before Nintendo, and when Nintendo came out, it completely changed the game.
I had the Intellivision. It had the weird ass thing. You had to slide like a
like the Intellivision
sticker or whatever.
Had, with the thumb pad and the key. And it was like that was
every game came with like a different sleeve you had to put on there, so you could use the keypad for whatever the game was.
Intellivision was the first gaming system that incorporated voice.
Yes, I had that attachment. It was choppy as hell, but
So I mean, my buddy had that. And look, I'm gonna say something. C-Doc wanted to correct the record. He was like, he said, "Don't blame him, blame Def Jam for earlier when you."
Oh yes.
When I send that track,
I can elaborate on that if you'd like me to.
Elaborate on it.
Oh man. All right. Well, first off, I gotta say, man, like growing up in the '80s, like Def Jam was LL was on there, Beastie Boys was on there, Original Concept was on there. Yeah, there you go, man. Davey D and Hurricane was on. Like, if I saw like Def Jam, well, PE obviously, right? So I have huge respect for Def Jam. But it's 2026 now, and things have changed, and Justin Bieber is now on Def Jam, so it's a little bit different now. And so are sampling rules and regulations, and so. CDOC and I think originally thought that we were going to be putting this out on SpitSLAM. And so we were using what we felt made the music the best. And then when we realized, oh, it's actually going to be put out through Def Jam and there's going to be rules and regulations, we, and especially CDOC, we had to go back and revisit a lot of things and make them not something that would get us in trouble. And Def Jam is very thorough with combing through everything and being like, did you guys get that from that? And it's like, no, actually we didn't. We had it before, but you ruined it. So we had to get something else that sounded like that, but it's not. So like there was a lot of that. And it just took a really long time. A really long time. So the album just kind of was with them forever. And at the end of the day, it came out. None of us have to worry about the sample patrol coming after any of us. It's all clean. We're good to go. Album sounds dope, but that's why it took a while. So yeah. Yep.
Dope.
Yeah, I ain't get the memo. I was just waiting
just
patiently.
You're like, what's going on?
Where's my shit at?
Yeah, exactly.
So when it comes to, when did one collaboration become the full album and conversation, and what did each of you hear in the other person's work which made you want to put together that 14 songs?
I love the way that CM rhymes. When I listen, the MCs that I love, they not only have a really good pen game, but their energy, their delivery, the inflections in their voices, the tonality, the way that they present the words that are on the page. If those two things are like this, then like those are the people I want to work with. And CM is that 20-fold. Like, not only does he know how to write, but like your energy and the inflections and like everything that you brought to the album to somehow make those crazy, like, bleeps and bloops work out for you. Like, I was blown away, and I'm like, I got the best person for this album. I can't imagine anybody else being the vocalist on this album. So, like, I got the best one. I'm just thankful. Like, you wouldn't know how much I'm so thankful.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I learned about MROK when he was on CDOC's podcast. He was the DJ on there. So that was my introduction. And then from that introduction, I started seeing that he had stuff on SpitSLAM. Mm-hmm. So what I was listening to, it brought me back to the 80s. Like his sound is so grounded in the original school of hip hop, and I'm from back then too, so I was like, he's a super dope producer. I didn't think I ever have a chance to do any type of project with him.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't, not in my wildest dream because I still consider myself unknown. Even though I have a lot of projects out that people can download for free or listen to on Spotify, I still consider myself relatively new to people's ears, even though I've done it for 20 years. So nobody really knows me. Nobody's going to be coming to me unless somebody is introducing me to them. So rocking with CDOC, he's given me a lot of opportunities to get on stuff through the Impossibles. So when we did Tower Babylon, I was like, oh, I'm on a MROK joint now. It's like, even though it's somebody else's project, and I'm through Impossibles, I still got my verse, and I was like, okay, that's my foot in the door.
Yeah.
And now, C-Doc hooked me up with the Enemy Radio, so now my foot is like more of my foot is in the door. People are gonna be like, even though it's probably the shortest track on the whole project, I feel like I've done enough for people to at least be like, hey, who this CM guy? And then once C-Doc gave me the green light to be on to release a SpitSLAM thing, that's when I like, okay, now my whole body's through the door at this point. The opportunities should be endless as far as who I can work with. At one point, I'm pretty sure one day I'm gonna get to rock with Chuck D and all those guys, and this is just one of the first steps to do that. So having the opportunity to rock with MROK and put a whole project together, that's a blessing beyond blessings, and especially for a person like me who'd been grinding this whole time independently to finally get like the opportunities that I'm getting is beyond what I thought was possible. Especially, I thought I'd just be the underground guy that some heads might recognize if they heard a track of whatever I do. And I guess the blessing of it all is I could have quit a long time ago. I could have been like, man, and nobody's checking me out. Nobody's paying attention to what I'm putting out. Maybe this music thing ain't for me. But
what did you say? Let me, and pardon my interruption, because that right there kills a lot of people, that have a passion and are wanting to be creative and wanting to pursue their dreams, but they'll put so much work into it for X amount of years and time, and nothing manifests, and they don't necessarily realize that next, if they just put out and do one more thing, that could be that one more thing that really breaks it open. What has it been for you that's helped you persevere through all of these years and continue to have that mindset, like, and avoid that voice in the back of your head, like nobody's gonna, and how did you, what is it?
So two things happen. One, I say probably when C-Doc first heard the Deadly Combo album. So when I released that on blocSonic, C-Doc reached out to the person who runs the label, the net label, and he heard whatever he heard and was like, see if we can connect and do a remix to a couple of tracks. And at this point, I didn't know who C-Doc was. He was, how I was presented to him was, hey, this guy works with Public Enemy. He does tracks for Public Enemy, and he's interested in doing some remixes. I was like, you ain't even gotta ask me twice. He could take whatever song he want and remix that thing.
Say less.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And that was that push I needed.
Gotcha.
It was like, okay, somebody is listening to this stuff that I'm putting out.
Yeah.
And then I heard the remixes, and I was like, that shit is dope. Like, here's a guy who I don't know, and he probably doesn't know me, but he heard something in what I was putting out, and he took the time to craft these instrumentals together to work with something I put out. So that, and I was like, okay, there's still people out there who's listening, and that opportunity opened up so much other opportunities just because I decided not to, because that Deadly Combo thing could have went to the side, and I could have been like, all right, well, it was a good run. I guess this is where it ends, but I just needed that one person. I just needed one person to listen.
That's all it takes. That's
Yep.
all it takes is one person believing in you, man, and it helps you keep going. And especially, you know, when you have someone as special as C-Doc, you know, and what he's done and accomplished and affiliated with and everything like that. I have to say that, you know, the whole SpitSLAM family and crew, there's just something special and unique, and something special and unique about the entire movement and all the projects has been put together, including, you know, the magazine, Rap Central, and Station, and everything that they're doing, is, you know, at the end of the day, you know, comes from, you know, one of the cornerstones of hip hop for me, you know, is Chuck D and Public Enemy, and that original vision and that movement, and it continues to move on and impact and be a part of culture. And like you said, there's no ageism, because this is stuff that, you know, giving opportunities to established artists, to artists that are underground and haven't had a chance or a look, but are very much deserving of that, and putting people together in collaborations that are just amazing, and all of the work is amazing. I was going to say this because what we had was, I want to make sure, gentlemen, are you okay for a couple more questions and
Oh yeah.
everything
Yes,
we
sir.
get on time? All right.
Yeah.
Well, gracious, and thank you for your time and this opportunity to discuss, because we still have more to talk about this album. But for the folks that are tuned in live right now, and also that were on the first part of the broadcast, that Evie Mux effed up. Anyway, Evie Mux, send your complaint letters to Evie Mux. I'm looking at you. I'm gonna be talking to you later. But this one right here, this is the album's coming out August 11th. All right.
Yeah.
It's called Digital Domain, and the first track that they released was Catch a Break. I want y'all to take a listen to this one right here.
Yo, I early rise, get to roam the outside. Put my handyman skills to use, and that's how I provide a little dough to eat some fries. Something on the side, go home and beat the process. On the weekend, might take a ride. Probably not. Spark the Xbox or the PS5. Maybe I just work the PC tonight. Dump the beat and store one from scratch. Ooh, I might just dig into a new Vic 20 batch. I got so many options to weigh. When it comes to instrumentals, I got so many new projects on the way. I got a few I need to go through. Gotta bang out some verses. Do I write then spit, or do I rehearse it? Whatever the process, I'm still gon' rock it. But when it comes to music, it's a nothing for my pocket. But take money, take money. So working 9 to 5 to lick up a vibe, something for me. I guess pennies over dollar, need a hustle, new race. I don't get paid like those who go with lead a fast break. I'm not in the huddle where I call a play and yell break. I'm just out in the field working hard and need a break. I need a break, need a motherfucking break. I need a break, need a motherfucking break. I need a break, need a motherfucking break. I need a break, I'm just trying to catch a break. I'm still taking deep breath, air filling my chest. I'ma walk the path I chose, no need to follow my steps. Ain't no map that I'm following, I'm charting this my ways. Eyes look at me sideways till they check out where I lay. These bars I drop have universal appeal. Words are crisp, plus they might just feel how I feel. I'm an everyday man, deal with everyday struggles. I know how they fake love you when that shit starts to bubble. Gotta be me to my best ability. Keep my humility to show them that I got the capability to be great. I know doubts also escape, especially when you look around and seems like it's checkmate. We used to play porn for those who care enough for my outcome. Suckers like them, they getting outdone. My break is coming whether smooth or rugged, cause my brain is where I store all my juice and gold nuggets. I guess pennies over dollar, need a hustle, new race. I don't get paid like those who go with lead a fast break. I'm not in the huddle where I call a play and yell break. I'm just out in the field working hard and need a break. I need a break, need a motherfucking break. I need a break, need a motherfucking break. I need a break, need a motherfucking break. I need a break, I'm just trying to catch a break.
Oh, I need a break. That was listen, y'all. That one. That's just a sample of what's yet to come, man. And like
Yes, sir.
again, woo, y'all came out the. I told you, I'm gonna say this, and I said it earlier. I'm gonna hear this on some type of action film where, like, like it's gonna be on the next John Wick movie or something. Like, there's gonna be people like getting shot or murked, or like there's gonna be car chases or something's gonna happen like dramatic to this. Like, and if you film producers out there don't put this and place that song in a damn movie, fuck out of here.
Definitely action packed.
Yeah, man. It's like that's the thing that sounds so dope about it. And like, you guys took this sound and crashed, like, again, these concepts and the digital domain and everything together. Walk me through the first digital domain song from the first beat or idea to the finished master. Like, who initiated, what came back, and what part changed the most?
Well, let's see. I put all the instrumentals together, and it was all packaged up by CDOC and given to CM at once. I would have loved a situation where CM and I were in the studio together and we did this track by track together. That would have been like fire, right? But it didn't work out that way. I mean, we're in different locations and everything. So I could speak to the production aspect of it, where like the spark came from, like I said, listening to The Prodigy with Diesel Power. I was also heavy listening to the Nine Inch Nails' first album, Pretty Hate Machine, which has a ton of hip hop influences on there. I mean, they sample Let the Jingle Bells Rock, for God's sakes, on there. So it's like, that was there. Deltron 3030 was like heavy on my brain. The cyberpunk stuff we just talked about. And I also love action movies like John Wick, and I love those club scenes because something foul always goes down in the club.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. They always have that epic shoot that they come through the crowd. People
yeah,
are dancing.
man. Or the blood rave in the Blade, in the intro to Blade. Where it's crazy, right? So I love all that stuff. And all that stuff was kind of like going through my brain when I started putting the beats together. But I think CM might be able to speak to like how like maybe one song led into another, because like he just got the batch of beats and turned them into magic. So
like we spoke earlier, CDOC he already gave me the heads up, like, hey, it's different. This is a different type of thing that MROK is working with. Are you even interested? And I'm not gonna pass up. I rarely pass up an opportunity. So once he told me what it was, he's like, it's very cyberpunkish. It's in that vein of like a landscape where shit just hit the fan, and this is what it feels like. So I was like, I'm down. If it didn't work out, I would have still been like, hey, it's not something I could see myself rapping on. It's just not in my wheelhouse. Even though it's dope music, it just might not be in my wheelhouse. I don't want to hold up any project or anything like that if he wants to do something different with it. But yeah, because even though it does sound cyberpunkish and it does have elements of other things, the underbelly is still hip hop. Mm-hmm. And I heard it. I heard the hip hop in it, and I was like, let me take a stab at writing at least one. Like I said, I started with something I already had written forever ago, and when I rhymed it, I was like, hey, it blends so well. The pacing of it, especially that particular track, is slower than the rest of the album. So it was a nice little springboard to dip my toes in it. And I was like, okay, this one is what it is. It fits, my verse fits really well with it. The format, it all fit in. Like, I didn't have to change anything about what I wrote. So the hook fit in very well. The verses was nice and snug in there. I was like, okay, that one works. Let's try this faster beat. once I got a hold of that beat and I wrote, like something just took over me. I'm like, okay, I can play around with this. I don't have to get too serious on this. I don't have to talk about my personal life on this. This is something where I can be a different character. We're in cyberspace or whatever this is.
You're creative and have a different persona.
Boom! I jumped into it like that. So that next song I wrote was in a different persona, like you said. Boom! That one it works. Okay, I think we got something here. I think I can finish these 10 beats that he gave me, and then it was like everything just locked in. Like, okay, I'm gonna write a song every day. I must just sit down, listen to these beats, and then I was scrolling through the beats. Okay, this one catches me at this particular time and place. Boom, let me lock in on this beat. So then I just wrote some more, and then not only am I able to write a verse, I'm able to feel a hook for it. Now that second verse is even easier than the first verse to write to. So now this song is done. Let's scroll. Okay, this beat today sounds like something I can write to, and that's how I pursued it day by day. I was like, I'm gonna finish this project. This thing is gonna get done, and then I can record it. As I wrote them, I got. I think the last track, I think I recorded everything but the last track, which is actually the third track on the album. That one, I had very different ways I was going with it. I was like, I think I need a girl song, like something for the ladies. So I wrote something about women being shiesty.
Not a diss. Was it a diss track?
Not really. No, and then I'm like, maybe I don't want to go shiesty. Maybe I'll put I met this girl through these slums somewhere, and we're trying to connect. And then I went that way, but I'm like, I don't like it like that. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna just stick to what I was feeling. I forced myself to go this direction and that direction. Let me just see what the track is telling me. And that was the last track, which was, what is the third track on the album? Because I ended up liking it a lot once I did it, and it was the last track. I was like, oh shit, this is it right here. This is how I'm gonna finish writing this album. And once I gave it to MROK, and I was like, here it is. He was like, I'm not gonna send you a track at a time. You're gonna have to wait till, because I want to do it all at once.
Track on the
now
album.
you know, yeah. Now you know. Yeah.
I'm about to put
you on. Yeah.
We haven't heard it, so
All right.
y'all gotta
That's
wait
a little
till
teaser,
later.
little sneak peek.
That's yeah.
It
He was
sounds
like,
much better on that track. Yeah.
he was like, I'm not gonna send it.
Version.
I'm not gonna send it to you as I do them. I want to do all of it, have it ready to present to you as a whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. So it didn't take much. It didn't take long for him to get into the groove of whatever his process was. I remember it was on a weekend. Got the little text. He's like, hey, here's the album unmastered. I was like, oh, my eyes were like this big. I jumped out. I was on the couch watching TV. I threw everything out the way, ran into my little studio area, and cranked that shit up. I started playing them one by one. I heard the intro. The intro is from a show I did in DC. I mean, not DC, in Denver, in a place called Bar. And I had a recording of it that I put online. And I heard the elements he took. No,
It's Bar.
It's called Bar. I doubt it exists. It was a little spot.
Gotcha.
And somebody was throwing a show, and I happened to just tag along and got a chance to perform. And that was probably the cleanest I've ever performed. I was by myself. Probably, I think that might have been either the first or second time I performed in Denver. And that shit went beginning to end, no fuck ups, no hiccups. there's always a chance where I might forget a word or two during the set. It's a lot of songs to perform, a lot of words to remember, but that one went smooth as butter. And I got it on tape, and I put it online, and then I heard it as the intro. Like, oh, okay, so now I know MROK is digging into my stash. Like he's searching through my stuff. And
it's what a DJ does, bro. I had to. Yep.
So then that first track hit, Catch a Break, and I was like, what you hear on Catch a Break isn't what I heard when I first got the beat. He added some stuff to it, and so now I'm excited. Now I'm like, okay, I already experienced this with the Enemy Radio. Like that Enemy Radio track did not sound like that when I first got it. So now I know MROK is gonna be doing all types of crazy shit on these other tracks. So now it's like Christmas in July. I'm listening to them things like, and then I gotta replay it back. Now I gotta crank it a little louder as I'm replaying it back, and it was just
give it the car test.
Yeah, take it to the car, drive around a little bit,
not get a
stop
ticket.
Stop by the gas station, let people else, let people get a little sample of that as well while I'm pumping gas in my car. It was. I was like, okay, I feel like this is something special we got, because it doesn't sound like anything that's out right now, and it gives me a feeling like, yeah, it's got that energy to it where. Is something like for me personally, it's not what I've been putting out before. This type of energy can't be created by C to 76. So this is not in my bag of tricks. This is MROK and CM coming together and putting something in the air that's just gonna sound magnificent when people get a chance to hear it. And I think it's different enough to where it's gonna gravitate outside of just hip hop circles. It might go somewhere else.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Like we definitely didn't like follow the boom bap mold, and it's obviously it's not trap or drill or whatever. It's hard to categorize. I think CM said it best, like. The beats at the heartbeat of this whole album is hip hop. You listen to the drums, it's hip hop. You listen to his rhymes, it's clearly hip hop. But if you like stuff that's a little outside the circle, where if you like acid techno and you like industrial and you like computer sound effects and you like cyberpunk, you've got a home here. You're going to love this. If you don't like that stuff, it might be an acquired taste. Come back to it every now and then, and I think it's going to grow on you. So yeah.
If you like bars, if you got that to get you to be able to get into it.
Hell yeah! Just listen to CM's lyrics, and the instrumentation will follow. Yep.
Was there ever a moment when you guys disagreed about like anything, and like how did you guys resolve it, or was it just pretty much like everything was smooth sailing?
Nah, it was super smooth.
It was smooth, man. Once CM did his thing, it went so smooth. I can't tell you how much I struggled with the tracks before they got to CM, and I just thought it was going to be an instrumental. It was kind of like beating my head against the wall. I just couldn't make the tracks work. And I realize now the missing piece was CM. That's why that was it. That was the piece of the puzzle. So as soon as CM came aboard, all the sides of the Rubik's Cube were solid colors and we were good to go. So yeah, it's cool.
Dope. So I'm going to ask you, all right, CM, what's your favorite track on the album? What's your baby?
Ooh. Damn.
And I'm going to ask you the same one, MROK. So CM,
I get a little more time to prepare.
Yeah, you're getting the benefit of the preparation. CM,
I am.
You're in the hot seat.
If I out of those tracks, sheesh, because they vary so much.
Which one's got your ear the most as you've been listening to it, like that you've been listening to more? So we'll just say it like that. I'll help you out.
I say when it comes on, I get energized a little bit. It is Put It on Ice.
Put It on Ice. All right.
I really like that beat.
Why?
And because it moves. It's got it's got a rhythm to it that I'm not used to. So when I wrote the track, it was like the hook popped in my head as I was writing the verse. And when I wrote the verse, because I say it in the first two lines, the first two bars of my verse is the hook. So when I got done with the verse, I like, what's the hook gonna be? So I'm repeating the verse. And I'm like, oh man, these two bars right here is what sets it off. Let me just spice it up a little bit on the hook, and because it moves, it's like it does something to me personally. Where I'm not a dancer. I wanted to be a break dancer when I was a little kid. When I went to elementary school, they was busting out the cardboard boxes at lunchtime and getting busy, backspins and head spins and pop lock and all that. I got two left feet. It didn't work for me. But yeah, those tracks just make me move, even with my two left feet. So Put It on Ice is one of those tracks that I be like, yeah, when people hear this, and it's such a simple hook, I want people to say it with us while it's playing as they're moving to it.
Dope. What about you, Em?
So I have a favorite, an instrumental standpoint, and then one from what CM did.
Okay.
There's a song called Nah, which we were talking about a little while ago. Yep. It's got this these female vocals that I kind of get goosebumps. It's haunting. It's kind of eerie, but it's like beautiful at the same time. Yeah, and it kind of makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up a little bit. And I'm like, there's just something emotional about that song, like music wise. But then the very last track is very inspirational. It's almost like a rally cry. It's called Never Give Up. And like, maybe I'm missing the boat. Like you said, man, there's like 60,000 tracks coming out a day, but I haven't heard positive rap in a long, long time. I'll hear like political hip hop where we're critiquing things and we're talking about how things suck and they need to get better and, whatever. But something uplifting, something to give people hope, something to put a battery in their back and make them feel good. CM did that on the very last song. And that's why I wanted it to be the last song. I wanted that to stick with people when they leave the album. I want that to be playing in their head so that they feel
out on
good.
a high note. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Quick note on that track. So before it became what it became, the way that the beat is structured, I knew I wanted some type of chant to be in it. So I was like, oh man, I'm listening to the beat and it's like doo-noom, 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 doo-noom. I'm like, okay, I can put something in here that people can repeat. So if they listen to it, if we ever do a live show, this is something that they can rock with us with. But the first couple of thoughts that I had in my head were not never give up. It was not never give. It was some foul shit. It was. I wanted to be grimy on it, and then I was like, it might not work. It's the album has all types of different vibes to it. I think I want to do something that somebody can be in the gym, pumping iron and doing something like never give up, and so I like, okay, now the never give up creeps in the head, and the way the beat is structured, I have just 4 bars of a verse, and then the never give up comes in, then another 4 bars, and then never give ups, and then never give ups gets like louder, like come on, you can do it, like
that new
that
rock
type.
Anthem.
It's
time to fly now. Yeah.
So it's very. Once that never give up kicked in, then everything else fell into place. But yeah, before that, it was gonna be something nasty, and I'm glad that it wasn't, because it like you said, it ends on a great note as an album. Never give up. And not only that, but since I'm a Knick fan, after I've completed the song, these guys come back from 29 points. And win a goddamn game, and I'm like, yo, this is the perfect track for that experience, right? That game 4. This is the soundtrack to that game 4.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. we're living in heavy times right now, and I won't get into stuff
Amen
or
to
whatever,
that.
but like I think we can all agree that like it's been stressful lately.
Pressure.
And so, yeah, there is this feeling of everything feels heavy and overwhelming, and there are days where it's like you just do want to give up. You're like, screw all this, right?
Yeah.
So to have a song that's like, no, man, like it's going to be okay, like keep in there, keep grinding, keep doing your thing. You got this. You're a champion. Never give up. I hope people like get inspiration from that. And no matter what your situation is, man, I hope you just keep going and never give up. So,
Well,
My-
my
yeah.
surgery
Yeah.
is on August 15th, a couple days 4 days after this gets released. So I will definitely be listening to that as I roll into the parking
Yeah.
lot. I got a couple of songs that's in the playlist. Every time I have surgery, that's going to be one of them. So we're
Oh,
going to
man.
Yes,
peep
sir.
that one.
Consider us in the car with you, bro. We're there in
Yeah,
spirit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You know, I want to ask you, digital domain, because we talked about the 60,000 songs, and it's in a market that's just built around singles and
Yeah.
short clips and fast release cycles. And, you chose a 14-track album. And how do you want listeners to experience it? Like from beginning to end, old school style? Or pick and choose, but like as the creators and the curators and you guys sequenced the album and everything like that, and there was a lot of time and passion that was put into it. How do you suggest the viewers listen?
You want to go first, CM?
Yeah. So and it's always hard when you're the artist. You want everybody to listen to every track 1,000 times. I think this one is designed if the sounds capture you and you be like, hey, these sounds interest me enough to want to dig into this album. I think as you listen to each track, it hooks you in. So you'll start with the intro. You get into that catch a break, and I think it'll hold your attention throughout the whole thing. But I can see it also as people picking their favorites. There's a lot of tracks that has a lot of feelings to it, and I think if I'm thinking realistically, I think people are going to find their favorites within this album.
Yeah. I hope so. Like I'm open to however anybody wants to listen to it, like experience it on your own terms. Everybody's mood and situation is different when they put on music, and I just invite people to do what's best for them. Ideally, I kind of view it like a Netflix series, and it's like you hopefully want to binge watch it because you're hooked, like Sam was talking about, right?
Yeah.
But if you just want to take it episode by episode and you want to take it in nuggets or whatever and then come back to, that's totally cool too, man. But I think it tells a story and it is sequenced a way where it's cohesive. And the good thing is it's only like a half an hour, so you don't have to invest a lot of time into it. You can just enjoy it. It's nice and quick for, this day and age when there's a lot of distractions and things going on. So, yeah.
It's perfect time for when you're on the treadmill and you put that 5K in.
Yeah,
in the
there you
morning.
go.
Oh yeah.
Get that 30-minute 5K in and let you just roll on it. So
Yeah.
there you go. Moving to basically SpitSLAM describes itself as a label guild rather than a conventional record label. What does membership in that structure look like in the practical terms? And, what support did the label provide digital domain beyond distribution?
So I've had the fortune of being with SpitSLAM since I think 2021. And I can say it really does feel like a family and like everyone's like on the same page, and there's this spirit to the label that it doesn't feel like this cold corporate giant where you're forced into a template and we really need you to make a radio hit, if you know what I mean, or otherwise the project's going to get shelved. Like there's none of that. It's kind of like do what inspires you. And then thanks to CDOC, it's like, I'm going to help build you up and we're going to connect you with the people that can make it happen. And like, do what you're passionate about and release it to the world. And there's like, it's about creativity. Like I feel like we're all artists, and like it's an artist run label. And Chuck D executive produces everything we put out, so we get that as well. And I've learned some good things from Chuck over the years. Like it's funny, this came from him, but I'm a huge Bomb Squad fan, as I mentioned, and like they have so many layers and there's so much noise and like all this stuff going on. And I tend to be of that mindset as well with the production. But, you know, he was kind of like, if you don't have to have it in a track, like if it's not doing anything for you, like you might like the sound or you might like, you know, the vibe that it's giving. But if it's not obvious and it's not really contributing to the track, take it out. And so he kind of taught me, like, even with the Bomb Squad mentality, like you can overbake a cake. Like, you know, same with the scratches, right? Like you can always do too much, pull it back, and it makes it more exciting. There is drama in silence and pockets, and like those things speak volumes. So I just think being able to express ourselves and make the hip hop that we love, you can feel it in everything that SpitSLAM does, and just feel blessed to be part of that family. So yeah,
less is more.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my first solo project within SpitSLAM. So just having the freedom to do whatever it is I was feeling at the time. Like there was no pressure, even with the first attempt to do something on SpitSLAM. I never had like, hey, nobody was putting a timetable on anything. Nobody put a clock. Nobody was like, hey, your opportunity's out of here because you ain't do it fast enough or whatever it is. C-Doc was patient and brought me another opportunity when that one didn't work. And that's the beauty of, I think, SpitSLAM as a whole. You have opportunities. Like I would have never thought I'd be on Tower of Babylon, but here I am spitting rhymes and getting on Chuck D album. Def Jam Chuck D album came from being part of that SpitSLAM like circle. And yeah, this forget it, man. I'm a loyal guy, and I'm like loyal to a fault sometimes, and it always feels good when somebody is loyal. Like C-Doc's been loyal to me. He come through a bunch of times with a bunch of opportunities, and I can't say no more. It's a beautiful thing, and I hope to continue this thing that we got going, and being able to work with more SpitSLAM artists. Because one thing I hate is doing solo albums, but I love collaborating with other people. So whether it's, I've done other projects with producers, like I got a blocSonic series I do with this awesome producer from Massachusetts. I don't think he's born from Massachusetts. I think he's born from London. He got an accent. And his name is The Silent Partner. Me and him, we connected on the first, like, I think he did a remix for me, and then I jumped on a track for his project, and then we're like, hey, let's just try putting out an EP together. And that first EP, it came really quick. We done it. It blended so well, and we're like, hey, this one is really good. Let's do another one. And that second one took forever to come out because life be life. And I moved to Colorado at the time. I didn't have no spot to set up my equipment and record music. So the first one took a couple of months to put together. The second one took a couple of years. It was like my life was lifing. And then when I got my stuff together, his life was lifing. So that album took probably like 4 or 5 years to come out for an EP that me and him did the first one in a couple of months. So
yeah,
I've gotten, when I first started doing Acid Planet stuff, a producer by the name of A Better Tomorrow. awesome producer from Austin.
I've heard of him.
He put together some. He used to jump on the Acid Planet stuff, and we would do a track or two, and then we was like, hey, let's span this. Let's do a whole album. So we did Raiders of the Lost Ark together. That album is probably one of my favorites. Just how it all came together, such a collaborative thing. It was my first official album outside of like the Classic Materials. I felt more like mixtapes, even though it was original beats.
Mm-hmm.
This one felt like an album, like, and it's one producer, and we clicked, and everything came out. Which I think that album is so underrated.
That's why I heard of him, because I listened to that whole album and it's dope. Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
Dope.
So then, yeah, I love collaborating with other people. Being in groups is fun. It can be stressful sometimes because you got so many personalities you got to deal with. Some people work faster than others. Like I'm pretty fast with the way I write and do things. Some people take forever, and you have to be patient and understand that people have their process. But sometimes you want things to happen at some type of speed. Let's keep it consistent. So group things is kind of hard for me to be in unless we're all on the same accord. But rocking with one or two people, a producer and me, having another MC definitely helps the process. So I don't have to write so much, and I can feed off of them. Especially like I got emotional when I was talking about rocking on stage with my brother. It's like that energy just bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
I miss that. I don't get the chance to do it as often these days. And me and my brother are in different places in life where I'm able to continue doing music whenever I want, where he's more handcuffed to what his situation is, as far as being able to record and stuff. Yeah. But damn, I would love to do another Deadly Combo and do it with dope producers. Like that first Deadly Combo, I jumped in there, he jumped in there as far as production wise go, and we got some other stuff we pieced together. I would love to do another album with him where we can get a dope producer to oversee it, shape it, do all the stuff to it. Cause goddamn, he is dope ass MC.
Mm-hmm.
And well, you put it out there and you put it in the air, it's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen.
CM, I'm really curious because I don't have any siblings. I'm an only child.
Me too.
So you too? Okay, man. Okay, we're rare. We're a rare breed, but I know back in the days of Cold Chillin', G-Rap and Kane, who are arguably my favorites on that label.
Tough.
They had a friendly rivalry with each other, and they would kind of compete against each other, but it was like steel sharpens, what was it, iron sharpens iron or whatever. Yeah. Do you have a like friendly competitive rivalry with your brother when you're like rapping? Do you ever try to outright each other or out rap each other or like push each other?
I can only speak for myself. So my brother is when it comes to styles, his is more grimy, a little more street. He'll talk about stuff that I won't talk about. So it's never about trying to outdo each other. I just try to do the best version of myself on the track. And I always look forward to hearing what he's coming up with. When it comes to certain subjects, certain subjects I can dive into his world, and I want to be a little more clever. I want to do stuff that he's not coming up with. And then sometimes he'll jump into a more serious thing, and I'll be like, God damn, he poured himself out on this track right here. This is not the norm. That like, but it sounds so good. I wish he would do it more. But yeah, as far as like trying to eat each other on a track, I think we're too different for that. Our styles are very different for us to be trying to like outdo each other on a track. I just think we try to do the best we can do within what we're trying to create. Like there's a track called Break Bread that he produced. That one I was trying to get him. because that beat was so thumping hard.
Yeah.
I got to go in. Like, I got to shine on this one. And then there's another track where I think he outshined me. It's called 3 the Hard Way that we did with a buddy of ours named Cable. And I think he got the better. He got the better of that one. But yeah, I just like making music. Sometimes when I'm on a track with other people, I'm trying to be the best on that.
Sure.
Especially if it's on somebody else's album. When I do my album, I like people to shine, because they already heard my verse. They already know what the idea is. So let them eat on that track. But when I'm on somebody else's track, I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to be the standout on that track.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Yeah, well, that is, man.
Yo, so I've taken as much as time as I feel like necessary. I want to thank you, gentlemen, but we always ask one question on the way out, and I want you guys both to think about this. When you look back at everything it took to reach in your individual lives to get to where you are right now with Digital Domain, what are you most proud of in the men and artists you've become, and what do you hope this next chapter gives to the people coming behind you?
Oh, wow.
What a great question.
Man. I think for me, it's the journey could have stopped a long time ago. Because I make music, I think I do it for myself more than anybody else. I like what I put out, and I'm proud of. I didn't have to change myself to put some music out. Like I had one guy tell me, "You should be the next LL." There's a void in the game. This was years back. He was like, "Why don't you just write songs for girls?" And I'm like, that's not. First of all, I don't got the body like LL. I don't.
Nobody does.
I can't jump in that lane like that and just make a woman track. I could do one track, a whole album. That's not me.
Yeah.
You're asking me to do something that's beyond what I'm comfortable with. And some people be like, I'll do that if that opens doors to get money, get fame, get out there, and then they're playing a character their whole life or their whole career. And I didn't want to be a character. I want to be true to myself, and I'm proud that I stuck to my guns that way. And I might have taken the long way to get to where I want to go, but at least I can be me, and I can be proud that the music I put out there, it represents something, and it's not just BS. It's my life. It's what I see. It's what I feel. And I'm learning more and more. The more I put out, the more people connect with it. I'm not the only one going through these steps that I'm leaving behind me. There's other people that's dealing with worse. They're dealing with maybe less, but they can feel where I'm coming from. And yeah, this Digital Domain is just another chapter in what I hope to be I want to be Chuck D, 66, rocking mics in front of thousands of people. You know what I mean? That's the goal. And if I have to do it my way and it's gonna take a little longer, hell, as long as the goal's the goal, and people keep their ears open and not just judge. They see a little gray and they be like, "What's this guy rapping about?" Like, nah, this is hip hop. Hip hop shouldn't be just for young people to talk whatever they talk. It's way more than that. And I think people are coming around to it because I'm seeing my legends put out albums that are incredible. And I want to be part of that too.
Dope. MROK.
So I almost stopped my journey too. When I was 16, I was putting out demos, hip hop demos, as a producer, as a DJ, as a rapper. It just wasn't going anywhere. Like, I just felt like, man, I'm just failing at this. And like, I remember I had like an emotional moment where I'm like, I'm just not good enough, and I'm just gonna like move on, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to DJ, but I'm going to spin other people's records and I'm going to do like the radio station thing or whatever, right? Well, I was the kid with Chuck D posters on my wall, and I would buy hip hop magazines and cut out the pictures, and I had Cool G Rap on my wall, and I had like I had Ride the Rhythm, like, because I thought it was a cool cover with the bullet holes. I had that up on my wall, right?
Yep.
And it's like I gave up on myself at 16, 17 for having like a career in this, so to speak.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm 53, and it's like it's happening. Like, it happened later in life, like way later in life than I ever would imagine. But
yeah,
it just goes to show you, like, you can still. This is gonna sound so corny, but you can still make your dreams come true, no matter what the age. Like, things happen. The universe is very mysterious, and things happen. So anyway, I would just say to people, like, I'm thankful for the opportunities that I've had. CDOC has certainly put me in opportunities that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't been part of SpitSLAM. But for the people who are like coming up behind us, I would just say, like, don't give up on yourself. Stay true to yourself. Be authentic, like CM's talk about. Like, hip hop is about authenticity, and like, there's a million other people already doing their thing. Do the music that makes you happy. So, like, do what you do to feel passionate and make yourself happy, and people will eventually like catch on to it and follow and listen and that. So I would just say, stick to your guns, believe in yourself, and to tie it back to the album, never give up. So there you go.
Hey, look, you go. It seems like it always comes up every single podcast. I quote it every single time. One of my favorite songs is a funk song. Shout out to Steve Arrington and Slave, Ohio Stand Up. But it's a song called Nobody Can Be You But You.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And that song right there has been also one of my theme songs. And when I feel like the guy, the odd man out, or I don't belong here, or I should be emulating something or whatever, nah. Nobody can be you but you be you. And if you're not being yourself, you're biting, you're fronting, and you know what I mean? Like you said, both of you guys said, you're playing a character, and you can never, ever feel at home in its center. And if you're not there, then it's just you're in turmoil. So
Yeah.
I have to say, thank you so much for an amazing interview. Thank you so much. I cannot wait till August 11th. Shout out to
next
C-Doc.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday we is there.
And y'all doing it on a Tuesday, old school style.
Yeah, old school.
That's the SpitSLAM way, man.
That's right. So, shout out to everyone that's been involved. I got to say thank you to my brother Sorak. Thank you to C-Doc. Thank you to my co-hosts, G-Dash and Mad Ways and Big Weez and everybody that's been a part of this, and the Usual Suspect family, all of that, man. Like, I thank everyone that's been a part of this journey. So I always say, keep positive, keep pushing, keep persevering, stay in the present, not in the past. Don't let it kick your ass. Just learn from it and don't trip on the future, because the things that you're worrying about tomorrow may never even come, and you wasted all your time worrying about something and you're dead. So
Yes, sir.
don't trip on it. Just be right here, breathe in, breathe out, and blow that shit out, right? So, gentlemen, shout outs.
Well, first of all, man, shout out to you for having us, for taking time to, ask us these great questions. Man. Yeah, this was incredible. Really appreciate you, man. You are like consummate professional. This was awesome.
You know how much that means to me. Thank you.
Yo, absolutely, man. Thank you. And like, to everyone who watched, shout out to you. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. And if you're watching this like post after it's recorded, thanks for checking us out. Shout out to CDOC, shout out to Chuck, shout out to everyone at SpitSLAM, and shout out to all the music fans out there. You guys are the reason that like this is going, like, yes, we're making the music we love, but you give us the energy to keep going and to do this. So we love you all, and we're here for you, and like we hope you enjoy the album. So those are my shout outs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that kudos and double that for all the people he mentioned, especially you Ghost for having us on here.
Yeah.
It was I don't do a lot of podcasts, but this one, it feels special just being on here, knowing that you might be around the corner. I might have to visit you.
We gotta break
you got
bread,
a link.
family. We gotta break bread.
And shout out to first the inspirations. Like my big brother, he opened my eyes to what can be. He was the one that introduced me to a lot of music, especially hip hop. The Public Enemies, Run DMC. I remember when Wu-Tang first came out, I was like, that's the stupidest name I ever heard. And then he played the tape, and I was like, this is the dopest thing I ever heard. So, and shout out to him. Shout out to my younger brother who's been helping me, Rolo. He's been doing my videos. He's getting into a lot of stuff, and he's opening my eyes to stuff outside of music, health-wise, all the opportunities that are out there to make money, like on the side and stuff like that. I'm proud of him because he also got into a bit of trouble as my other older brother has, and he's been grinding, man. I like watching him do what he does. That grind he got inside, that puts the battery in my back as well. Seeing him do that, I got my younger brother. I'm 20 years older than him, and me and him are probably the closest to being the same type of person. He's out there grinding and doing his thing. And my sister, shout out to the whole fam, moms, my pops who passed 2003. He didn't get to see these Knicks do what they did, but man, I talk to him every day. And my stepfather who's always championing me, Frank. So I got a lot of support, and I've been blessed with that. Like, the support is always there. Nobody's ever been like, you're never gonna make it. I don't got those stories. No teacher ever told me, you're gonna be nothing in life. Like, I always had support, and it's cool to be able to like show them like, yeah, I'm someone you can support. Like the stuff I've put out and just done in life as a person, I make them proud. So that's my North Star of just do what I can do when I can do it, and be the best version of me every day. And I think everybody benefits when I do that. So shout out to all the people who checks us out. Like, there's so much out there, like you guys was saying, there's so much music out there. At the one person that takes the time to listen to one track that I've done, thank you. Thank you for taking that time. So yeah, we trying to do more and more, and to have more and more people experience what we got, and hopefully we can grow little. I don't know. Everybody have like little camps that they got little nicknames for. I want a camp like that of people I know that when I drop something, they're gonna be like, yeah, check this out. So shout out to y'all in the future. All the people that's grinding coming up. You can still do it. Don't let the talks of others, doubters who miserable when they want to see you fail. Don't let those doubters creep into your head, because shit, I'm almost 50 and I'm still doing it with passion. And y'all don't have to stop. Y'all can keep going. Y'all can find your lane. You make your lane. Do whatever it is that you're passionate about, that you feel like can inspire others. So keep doing it. Champion yourself until people are championing you. That's what I say.
Amen to that. So, rest in peace to your pops. I saw the pictures that you had posted in the next one, and I saw like the little pictures and everything like that, and that was special. So much love to you and all of that. So from our city to your world, this is B-Boys Underground. Follow cityworldmedia.com and everything that my brother Todd D. Blaze and Miss Serene Solutions do. And I appreciate the SpitSLAM label, as always, giving me an opportunity to interview their dope roster, and more to come. Just to give everybody a heads up, this Wednesday, we are going to be back. We've got 2 more episodes this week. We got one on Wednesday, and we've got one on Thursday. So the episodes
you busy.
that, oh yeah, we grind. We grind, man. We keep it going. So this Wednesday we've got DJ Remix, which is a DJ on WAIF 88.3 FM in Cincinnati, Ohio. He's got the Mixing in the AM show. That's the station that B-Boys Underground originally started on. So tune in for that at 7 p.m. Mountain, so 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific, wherever else that goes. Same bat channel, same bat time. And then also we've got Dex from Ghetto Fresh Clothing out of California. Super ill B-boy, graph writer, MC. He's got a lot of stuff, clothing line. We're going to be interviewing him on Thursday. Same bat channel, same B-boy channel, same time, all of that stuff. That's this Thursday coming up. So until then, much love. Keep it positive. Keep pushing. Keep persevering. And we are out, y'all. Rallo. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, follow. From my city to your world, we are City World.